Good morning, a very good morning, and welcome to the very first CIPC broadcast. We will be broadcasting live from the CIPC offices. Today, I'm not alone. I'm with my sister Tinzalo Mawila. We're gonna be with you from 10 o'clock until 11 o'clock, and we've got a very jammed program, and we will be introducing our very first guest very soon. Good morning, Tinzalo. How are you?
Good morning, Rodzani, and good morning to our listeners. My name is Tinzalo Mawila, and I'll be your co-host for today. Kindly follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and use the hashtag handle CIPC Broadcast.
Good morning once again, and thank you, Tinzalo, for introducing the show. We will be talking to the Companies and Intellectual Property Commission, Advocate Rory Voller, who will be joining us in the studio in a very short space of time. We're gonna be talking about all the vision, mission, and products and services of CIPC. What can we get? How can we CIPC help us? What can we benefit from the CIPC? And let me welcome the commissioner who's just walked into the studio. Very good morning, Commissioner. How are you?
Thank you. Good morning, Rodzani, and good morning to you, Tinzalo. Thank you very much for the invitation, I should say. And also good morning to all our listeners and stakeholders.
Yeah.
It's really good to be here.
Yes, continue to tweet and hashtag us on CIPC social media platforms so that we can read, we can hear what you want the commissioner to know. Without wasting too much of your time, we're gonna look to the legal biography of the commissioner, Advocate Rory Voller.
Okay, I would like to introduce our guest here, Advocate Rory Voller. Advocate Rory Voller, you should know him. He's a cabinet-appointed commissioner of the Companies and Intellectual Properties Commission, CIPC. The CIPC is the only register and a regulator of companies and intellectual properties legislation. Mr. Voller was the member of a legislative drafted team from both the new South African Company Act and also the regulations and the Companies Amendment Act, as well as the Intellectual Properties Amendment Act, on a traditional knowledge.
And in terms of qualifications, he held a BA Law, LLB, LLM Commercial Law Master Specialization from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, as well as the University of South Africa, and is an admitted advocate of the High Court, Transvaal Provincial Division, and practiced as an attorney. Mr. Voller is a panel member on the Takeover Regulation Panel, TRP, on Mergers and Acquisition, a board member on the Anti-Money Laundering Council, a member of the Financial Reporting Standards Council, and the Ministerial Specializing Committee member of the Company Law and Intellectual Property Law Committees, and an executive member of the Corporate Register Forum, which is a CRF. This is an international organization, which is South Africa is a member as well. He's also appointed to the King Committee on Corporate Governance.
He has presented and represented the CIPC in numerous national and international conferences, including Singapore, Brazil, Romania, Malaysia, and many other countries.
Thank you, Mawila. We gladly encourage the public out there to please interact with us on Twitter and social media. Our Twitter handle is CIPC, and at the CIPC, that is our Twitter handle. Facebook page, you can follow us, you can tweet us, you can also check us on YouTube channel. Feel free to send us any questions, anything that you want us to know. Welcome, Commissioner.
Thank you very much for the introduction. It makes me seem quite important to hear all of these accolades. Thank you very much for that.
First thing first, Commissioner, Advocate, what is the vision and mission and corporate values of the CIPC?
Well, not to bore you with how we normally would do it and in our strategy session to say this is what the vision is and this is what the mission is, but basically I would like to sum up and summarize to say that we want to be a world-class regulator. The one thing that we have strived for over the years is try to deal with the issue of ease of doing business. So our focus for many years in terms of our strategy is to make things easier for our clients to deal with how they interact with us on a daily basis, to make it easier, to make it faster, to make it quicker. So our vision is to be reputable as far as that is concerned. And I think we've done quite well. But what we are doing now and what we are shifting to now is to be a world-class regulator of not only company law but also intellectual property law. Most people know us to be the registrar of companies, but that's not all that we do. We also deal with the issues and the aspects of registration and regulation in the intellectual property space, but also we also deal with enforcement in these areas. So in terms of our vision, it is to be a credible regulator and also to have the ease of doing business going forward. Our mission is one where I think that we try and do aspects of collaboration very well. So partnerships is certainly one aspect of our business that's extremely important to us. It not only contained within our mission and what we would like to achieve, but it also is one of our values. So collaboration in dealing with not only in the public space, but also in the private space is one that we take very, very seriously, and we've dealt with it over the years in how we interact. We've got partnerships with SARS, we've got partnerships with the banking fraternity, we've got partnerships with the Department of Home Affairs, and numerous others, and we continue to deal with these aspects going forward as to how we want to get better and to achieve more as an organization. So the value of passion for service is always there. Our clients come first in everything that we do. We are a public entity within the administration and under the Department of Trade and Industry. So our mandate and our focus will always be to make things better for you out there. So that is certainly one of our corporate values. And also we would like to say that we do things with integrity. So honesty is most important to us. Good corporate governance, following the rules, making sure that we as an organization are tight when it comes to our governance aspects. We make sure that the way that we deal with public funds is one that we take very, very seriously. What we do in terms of reporting to the Auditor General as well as to our mother departments and Parliament, we take those aspects very, very seriously. So our values is something that we strive by, and it's something that we live by on a daily basis. All 500 of us at the CIPC take these very, very seriously.
Well, here you have it, listeners. Since, Mr. Advocate Rory Voller, I would like to know, since the launch of the CIPC, what achievement that you can say to the public that CIPC has achieved so far? And going forward, what else are they going to expect from the CIPC in terms of the coming development?
I think the one major achievement that we have is the issue around accessibility. We also strive to be an IT-driven, innovative organization. So I think we've done quite well as the accessibility aspect is concerned. You may have our self-service centers which are around the country in terms of partnerships, as well as flagship ones in Pretoria, Johannesburg and the Western Cape. We have our website portal which one can interact with, which has sped up company registrations drastically, as well as the fact that we have done a lot of work and a lot of aspects in the area of company regulation. So we've taken on some major enforcement action, some major investigations. We have been in the newspapers, for example, the PIC, AO Technology, South African Airways, South African Broadcasting Corporation, and numerous others. So I think as far as what we try to achieve and what we are achieving, as far as that is concerned, I think we've made lots of strides in that particular space. But once again, I must never run away from the fact that we are a continuous improving organization. So when it comes to making things easier, faster, better, in terms of ease of doing business, we never rest on our laurels. So the spirit of the Japanese Kaizen is something with us. As an organization, we try to live it by improving year on year. The one thing that I say to my staff a lot is that because we do company registrations in one day, the majority of them in one day, some of them in a matter of hours, that can never be good enough. We have to year on year make these things better. So whatever was done in the previous year, if it was acceptable, it will not be acceptable for those going forward, especially when there is a continuous drive within public service to make things easier. So we live that at CIPC, continuous improvement, making things easier, making things better, making it faster, and also the aspect of quality must come through in the work that we do. I must say this to Zani and to Tswalo, we don't always get these things right. I can never run away from that fact. I can never run away from the fact that we have issues. We have issues when our systems go down. Just today I'm reading some of the comments about our issues having, our systems having some problems, clients not receiving their messaging in terms of when they want to register or when they want to do certain services with us. But because this is the nature of what we do, the nature of improvement, the nature of introspection and reflection, we will be faced with these issues. We never run away with them, we never bury our head in the sand, but we continue to work and strive to make them better. Sometimes we ask our clients to bear with us. We do know that we have misallocation of funds, for example, those who have lost their passwords and can't interact with us. You know, those who sometimes think that their applications take very, very long. We admit that and we accept that. But the one thing is that and we strive to always do our best at the CIPC.
Very exciting indeed, Advocate Rory Voller. My next question was going to be about where do you want to see CIPC in the next 5 years, but I think you've touched on that in terms of striving to improve the technology in terms of getting things done correctly, getting things done better.
But just one aspect I want to iterate, please, Ruzani, regarding that. I did touch on the aspect of us being a regulator, but I must say that the focus out there is on our reputation, and the way that one becomes a credible regulator is by having an iron-class and an iron-fit regulatory reputation. Many, many years ago, I always use this example, SARS was a very credible regulator, and I think they will get there again. When anybody received any notification from SARS, you dropped whatever you were doing and basically ran to the taxman to get your affairs in order. That's exactly the way that it should be with CIPC, and it must be with the CIPC. So when you receive a compliance notice from us or any form of notification for us that there are governance issues in your company, or that there are complaints against your company, or that we need to look at certain aspects of your financials, you must take that seriously, and you must understand that the CIPC, without fear or favor, make sure that we increase the governance of this country, because we know that we have many, many governance failures. I have been in Parliament, for example, the Steinhoff matter, and trying to report on the governance failures there. We work very closely with other regulators, for example, the FSCA, the JSE, IRBA. But the CIPC will always strive to be a credible regulator, a regulator that one can stand its ground, that uses all the tenets of the law, making sure that we work closely with the prosecuting authorities and those who have jurisdiction in those particular areas. So as far as what we want to achieve in the next 5 years, Ruzani, I'm saying is that we want to continue on the path of being a regulator that has teeth.
Yes, indeed, a credible regulator, CIPC. That's what the advocate has been saying all along. And Advocate Commissioner, we always have a problem with CIPC is not yet known up there. People cry, people are being ripped off, people are still using intermediaries in terms of interacting with us. How are we addressing this issue?
In the last couple of years, probably the last 3 to 4 years, we've spent quite a bit of our time and our efforts, as well as our resources in terms of financial resources and human capacity, to deal with the aspect of trying to be accessible in every corner of South Africa. There's a few ways that we've done this. The one is that we went on these massive road shows. We had billboards all over South Africa. We spoke on community radios, provincial radio stations, and national radio stations. We had adverts going out on many, many newspapers. We used and utilized our website. And as you know now, we are very accessible on social media. We have a Facebook page and a Facebook presence. We have a Twitter presence. And I think that is growing day by day. There is only, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're over the 30,000 mark, or even the 40,000 mark if Facebook is concerned. I think
100% correct. We think at about 40,000 now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And just to add on that, our YouTube channel is peaking very high.
Absolutely.
We've got so many people who are watching all our tutorials on those platforms as well.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. When we decided to go into the social media space, we had a lot of discussion in-house. The EXCO had a discussion, senior management had a discussion, and staff. Because we know that people use Facebook as a means to throw stones at an organization. But what we did was, we said, when they throw stones, it is a good thing, because we learn from it. If somebody is complaining about our service and they put it on Facebook for everybody to see, it is a good thing. It makes us strive to do better. We must not shy away from the fact that when people are talking about you, not only will they say good things, but they will say bad things as well. And it is good that they do. So we encourage people to interact with us on Facebook, on Twitter. We encourage them to use our YouTube videos to have a better understanding. We encourage them to continuously visit our website in order for them to understand exactly what we're doing on a daily or monthly or annual basis. And therefore, these aspects will be utilized, and these tools will be utilized in order for the word of CIPC to go out there. I remember the one thing the minister said to me, and the question that you posed to me, Ruzani, is actually a question that has been posed by the minister to me. He said, you're doing all these wonderful things, you do have your failures, you do have the organization having its struggles, but on the whole, we need to let the message of CIPC go out there, because there has been quite a big turnaround as far as our services are concerned. So, part of our strategy going forward is not only the one that I've mentioned, but also the aspect of us being more visible. Having more partnerships in the provinces, but having more self-service centers. Using the spaces of mass marketing and mass media, making those be utilized going forward. We had companies that assisted us with this, and we will continue to utilize this. We spent quite a bit of money as far as this is concerned, and we will continue to do so, because we believe that being a public entity, we need the length and breadth of South Africa to know and to understand and to utilize and use our services going forward whenever they have the opportunity to do so.
Yes, speaking of mass marketing and getting out there to the community, I think my co-host here will have something to tell us.
Yes, one thing I want to remind you is to follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @CIPC. And then what I want to know now is I want to inform you guys that the people in Gugulethu CIPC will be in your doorstep talking about knowing CIPC, talking about interacting with CIPC. Now we will go and pay our bills, and then we go and advertise. Stay tuned.
Amendment Act number 6 of 2013 has been implemented as from the 1st of April 2019. The Companies and Intellectual Properties Commission will be migrating from the current registration or manual process to automated registration systems. For more information, visit www.cipc.co.za. Your business, our focus.
Welcome back again. We are back. The commissioner is still with us until 11 o'clock.
Welcome.
We're gonna be talking to him again. Gonna continue with our conversation with the commissioner. And again, please remember, people in Cape Town, remember to visit CIPC in Gugulethu from the 30th to the 1st of June, 30th of May to the 1st of June, from 9 to 3 o'clock during working hours. You will learn more about company registration, cooperatives, annual returns, financial statements, business rescue, and intellectual property. Please do visit the stand to get more information about CIPC at Gugulethu Square.
Welcome back, our listeners. Now we continue with our guest here, Commissioner Advocate Rory Voller. Advocate Rory Voller, I want to know, and I want you to tell the customers, what are the strategic outcome-oriented goals for the CIPC?
Well, I think I've touched on a few of them, but maybe I should, at a higher level, mention them once again. I think that accessibility is one that is almost top of our list. So we want to have 24/7 access to all our CIPC products and services. So that is the reason why we place a lot of focus on the use of our IT infrastructure, the use of our website, and all these other channels that we continue to roll out. We will also be introducing a CIPC app. We have introduced it with limited functionality, but very, very soon we're going to have the app also dealing with issues around company registration. Once we utilize that service, and once those who sign in for our app and use registration, we will see also another drastic improvement in the turnaround time when it comes to that particular aspect of what we are known for. We also have the USSD, which one can utilize. They can go onto their cell phones and basically keep in touch with what their CIPC services. So 24/7 access is something that is certainly one of our outcomes and one of our goals. The other one is that we want to increase the knowledge and awareness of company and IP laws. So I think you just mentioned as we came up from the break where we will be in Guguletu, but on a daily basis we have teams that go out and interact with our clients. The length and breadth of South Africa, they deal with these aspects. Our education and awareness we take very, very seriously. But also, as you mentioned, is that we have these instructional videos that we have on YouTube, which we want our clients to interact with. Whether you are a first-time user of the service or whether you are a stakeholder and a consistent user of CIPC services, we will continue to have instructional and educational and tutorial videos being uploaded on our YouTube channel. But also, we are looking at putting those videos in various languages. So we understand that not everybody is quite conversant with English, which is our major language in which we do business, but we want to meet our clients where we find them. And one is in the languages for which they speak. So you will see instructional tutorial videos being uploaded in other languages, not only English or Afrikaans. So that is another thing that we want to do, is to increase the knowledge out there for what we do and the services for which we have. Another aspect is that, and a strategic goal for us is to increase the compliance level. So, as I said, we place a lot of focus on our regulatory part. We deal with hundreds, if not thousands, of complaints to our enforcement division on an annual basis. We have teams of investigators who look at these complaints, and we issue something called compliance notices. These compliance notices are done in order for us to increase the corporate governance aspect of South Africa and also to handle complaints in a very, very functional as well as a qualitative manner. So if you out there receive a compliance notice from CIPC, please take them seriously, because as I said, we have teams that deal with this and we have taken some of these matters to court. We have been quite successful in a couple of judgments. We had a judgment just 1.5 to 2 years ago where it dealt with the non-completion of annual financial statements by companies. And the judge was quite scathing in her judgment when she said that it looks like companies do not take their responsibility seriously, especially when they have limited liability, which is a protection mechanism in company law. So if you are a company, if you run a company, make sure that you comply with the laws of South Africa, which includes concluding on your financial statements. Other aspects that we want to do is that we want to have obviously timely delivery of our services in a regulated fashion, as well as to make sure that we continue to improve on our ease of business for all our clients out there.
Yes, compliance is very important, customers. You have it yourself. And Advocate Rory, I'd like to know from you, you tell our clients, what are elements of the CIPC's value proportion and within the CIPC? The element of the CIPC's values proportion. What are the elements of the CIPC's value proportion?
Our value proposition.
Yes.
Well, our value proposition, as I said, is we want to reduce the administrative burden to our clients. That's one of our major value propositions that we want to do. And the other value proposition is that we want to be also a one-stop shop provider. That's why we continuously improve on this particular area. We have a whole division dedicated to this aspect of being a one-stop, collaborative, innovative area. We always look for collaboration amongst public and private sector partnerships. As I said, at the CIPC now, when you come and register, you get yourself a BE certificate, you get yourself a banking account if you go to the banks, you get information around how to start a website through our collaboration with Zadna. We have verification services and authentication services with our collaboration with the Department of Home Affairs. And therefore the value proposition is that you know that your information that you lodge with CIPC is secure, it is up to date, and it is relevant. That is the one thing that we want to strive to do. Another value proposition that we have is that we are known to be a registrar of companies and intellectual property. But that is not the value that we have. The value that we have as an organization is the data that we keep. the data that we hold, the utilization of those data services is one that I want to see improve in the CIPC. The value of our data must be for the people of South Africa. It must have meaningful economic data that we can show, that we can mine, that we can analyze, that we can research in order for it to have meaningful use for the people of South Africa and the government as well. For example, we have introduced, it's coming up to a year now in June, we have introduced what is called XBRL, which stands for Extensible Business Reporting Language. That is a mechanism for companies to report not only on their financial data, but also on their compliance data with company law. Now, we are seeing a lot of interest in this particular data, not only within South Africa, but also internationally, because the value of that data is very important for economic decisions and investment decisions, as well as for statistical data. For example, Stats SA and other regulators like the FIC and SARS and the FSCA, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, will find immense value in the data that we hold. That is the reason why they continue to engage with us. So the value proposition lies also within our data, the utilization of our data, not only in the company compliance space, but also in the financial data that we hold.
Thank you, Commissioner, for that insightful information. We can hear, we've heard from the Commissioner that so many things have happened. So many good things are happening within CIPC. And
not all good, as I must say. Remember, we still have our faults, we still have our failings. I can never run away from that. We still have clients. As we speak now, we have clients not receiving their messages for their OTPs. But we continue to strive to make things better.
Yes, I wanted to come to that where people who are complaining about those ATPs and stuff like that,
yes,
that are not coming through, and the slowness of the system and stuff like that. But I think it's something that we should be dealing with it.
Yes. The one thing is that because we are and we pride ourselves on being a fully automated, IT-driven organization, people know that IT is one area that is prone to instability. CIPC cannot run away from that. It's the biggest frustration that I have, that the one day and the 1 week and the 1 month we're totally stable, and then we go to 3 weeks of instability on the system because of a maintenance issue, because of a network issue, because of a connectivity issue, because of space on the servers. So these things we can never run away from. But the one thing that our clients and our stakeholders can always be assured of is that that becomes our priority. How we interface with our clients when there are outages, like there is an outage now in terms of the OTPs, the whole IT team stops to what they're doing and focuses on fixing that. That's what we can be assured of. Because IT and the nature of IT is one that you will tweak something here, but you will break something there. And I keep speaking to my IT guys when something is not working, and the first thing that I say to them, and it's almost like my mantra, and they look at me like Commissioner is at it again, is that, what did you touch? Because you must have touched something for us to have certain outages at this particular moment. But I repeat and I reiterate the point. Our clients and their accessibility and them accessing our services becomes our priority when we have these outages. And we must apologize for them.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Our clients are very important, and we will check our Twitter or Facebook, what's happening on our page. If we've got some questions that are coming through that we can maybe give answers now.
Yes, look, I obviously can give answers of a general nature. You can't ask me exactly where's your company in the process because I don't have the access at hand. But I'm all willing to hear and respond.
Yes, so we do have a question here from Lona Moodley. He's asking Commissioner, he said, please assist urgently. Can a private company that owns 100 ordinary shares issue 9.5 shares and 90.5 shares?
Sorry, let me just have a look at that. Let's see what the question is. Particular thing is, please, can a private company that owns 100 ordinary shares issue 9.5 shares and 90.5 shares? Yes, absolutely. When you issue your shares, remember, and you allocate them, it is up to the company in order for it to do that. But the one thing that you must note is that, remember that a private company, by the nature of the business, it is private. You can't issue those shares on the open market now. You have to issue them within the confines of who the shareholders are that set up the particular company. So you can issue them in various levels and various percentages. It is up to you. If you have 5 shareholders, how you allocate to the shareholding, it depends on how the company wants to do that accordingly.
Okay, another question, Advocate. She is asking Jabulo, is saying, and how long does that take after a nature of being approved, a name being approved and a reservation number being built? How long does it take to reach the final stage normally?
Normally it would take us 1 day. It normally would take us 1 day. But the one aspect I must say that in the last 3 weeks, and I'm just going to have a meeting at 11 o'clock once I'm concluded with the broadcast now, and I'm having the ITT together. We seem to be having a bit of an outage in the last 3 weeks. We've noticed there's an increase not only in call to our call center, but also in people and our clients utilizing our social media space to complain about how long it's taking in some of these services. 3 weeks ago, we went through maintenance. We also went through an issue around our network. The one thing that I must mention is that the CIPC sits on a campus. It sits on what is called the Department of Trade and Industry campus, where there are quite a few entities, not only in the DTI, but from other departments as well. And when we go to the network, the CIPC goes through the DTI network. So if there are maintenance that has taken place on that particular network, it impacts on us. Or if we maintain our services in-house, it also will have an impact. But what we are trying to do currently, Ruzani, is that we are looking to break away from the DTI network and to have our own network. That is the reason why currently we are seeing a bit of outages here and there. Okay, so in the normal space and in the normal, when the IT system is working efficiently, it takes us less than a day to register a company in 95% of all applications. Some applications are more complex than others, but the majority of them are simple companies that take very, very quickly to register.
Okay, and then here is just a compliment from Yamal Poison, which is, she's saying, I registered my company in 4 full days. Be a little bit patient with them and check your email address for updates. This was just after Njawulo complained to say he has been waiting for his company for 11 days.
Oh, I am so sorry about Njabulo. I'm so sorry about that. And we will certainly get back to you. The one thing that we always do is that once there is you have responded on our Facebook page or Twitter page, we have teams that will respond to that, maybe take your details and get back to you as to where your company is in the process. Because as I said, we do these fairly quickly. And thank you very much for the compliment as well. It certainly gives the team a bit of pride in order for us to do much better. But I do know currently there's a lot of outages, and therefore we must tackle it fully.
And then here's another one from Nico that says, hi, I haven't received any confirmation of my registration, but it has been 2 weeks now, and I was told it only takes 2 to 3 days. How does this work?
Absolutely. Look, if you're going to send messages like that, I'm going to continue with the same answer, which is that in the last 3 weeks, we have faced some IT difficulties. We are full teams working on it. I will be holding a little bit of an IT indaba after this particular meeting to get to the heart of why we are faced with some of the issues. As I said, maintenance, when maintenance occurs in the IT system, we normally go through a phase of instability. But this instability is lasting for 3 weeks, which is totally unacceptable to me. Companies get registered very, very quickly at the CIPC.
We'll be back very shortly. Let's pay the bills.
An important notice to all South Africans. Please note that the Cooperative Amendment Act number 6 of 2013 has been implemented as from the 1st of April 2019. The Companies and Intellectual Properties Commission will be migrating from the current registration or manual process to automated registration system soon. For more information, visit www.cipc.co.za. Your business, our focus.
Welcome back. We're still continuing with Advocate Rory Voller, the CIPC Commissioner, who has been with us from 10 to, is going to be with us from now until 11 o'clock. The time now is 23 minutes to 11 o'clock. And we're supposed to finish at 11. If you've got something to ask, you can ask us. The Commissioner is still here with us. If we don't have, we can continue with the tweets that we've got right now.
Okay. Yes, another tweet that I have here is from Tsepo Hadebe. Tsepo, he's saying, Commissioner, he has deposited the amount of on the CIPC account on the 16th of April, where he paid 50 Rand for immediate reflection. But even today, he still hasn't received any response, and there's no money in his account.
Okay, that is one of the complaints that we do have. It's called misallocation or unallocation of funds. We have a whole team that deals with it in our call center, or also on our query resolution handle. Can you please just send us a query or a complaint regarding that? Give us all the details, and therefore we will certainly escalate it to the team that deals with unallocations. I'm actually sitting with the manager right here, and we will basically deal with you and get back to you within a few hours.
Okay, thank you. Just to add on that, in most cases, you would find that the customer has made a mistake when putting in the customer code, the reference number. If that is the case, please do as the Commissioner is saying, lodge a query so that it can be attended or it can be addressed. We can assist you.
Okay, and then we also have another one here. He's saying that there is an option for card allocation here for card payment on our e-services, but then whenever he clicks on it, it does not work for him. And then why is that?
We're quite proud of the fact that we roll out the use of card services probably about 2 years now. About 2 years now, we use the usage of card payments. The fact that it's not working for you means that there might be a problem with your, could be the way that your PC has been set up, because we do not have any complaints currently regarding the use of card payments and card services. So I would say let your IT guy, whoever's dealing with it, just have a look at it. Maybe it's the search engine that you're using, or maybe some other aspect as to your IT setup. But as I said, we do not have any current issues regarding the use of our card services currently.
Okay, still on Twitter, we've got Josh Alexandra wanting to know, what role do you see professionals, attorneys, accountants, etc. playing in the interaction between business and the CIPC?
Oh, well, I think that one of our biggest stakeholders are professional accountants. I meet with many of the bodies. Just the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I've met with Cyber. I meet regularly with Psycha and various others, CIPA as well. I've got very good relationships with them. When it comes to our frontline stakeholders, it'll always be the accounting or the attorney's profession that deal with us. Not only in the area of the assurance that we provide through the usage of now accountants in the independent review space, but also in the business rescue space. The majority of our business rescue practitioners, for example, are from the accounting profession. Professional bodies are well represented there. I know tomorrow I'm having additional meetings with the particular accounting professional body. So we regard them as one of our main stakeholders, not the only stakeholder that we have various ones, but professional accountants are certainly ones that we regard as one of our bigger stakeholders, and we rely a lot on them in order for it to get done. Just to add to that, and regarding the issue around the court case that I mentioned earlier, the one thing that when we receive the judgment back from the judge that mentioned the issue around the conclusion of annual financial statements, the one thing that we did was to call a meeting with all the professional accounting bodies to make them aware of the implications and for them to make their clients aware, which are the company directors. That has certainly gone a long way. It just shows the interaction that we have is one way we take it very, very seriously, and they are our front line.
Okay, and then the second question from Josh: will you be following the example of SARS to engage with independent software vendors?
To engage with
independent software vendors.
Oh yes, no, we are. We've got a whole. As far as software vendors are concerned, we have a grouping or forum that has been set up under our XBRL space, where we meet regularly with the software providers in that particular area. We deal with the issue of the updating of the taxonomy when it comes to XBRL filings. We deal with the issue of non-compliance in the area of how the software accounting package providers set up their particular system, and therefore we have been engaging with them for probably the last 3 to 4 years. George, if you have not been part of that particular area, I suggest that you contact us. Ruzani will, I think, during the course of this broadcast, give some detail of how to contact us probably towards the end, and therefore we can certainly put you on the panel in order for you to be part of that particular service.
Thank you, Josh, for the questions. We're going to continue with our broadcast for now, and we can see now the time is 90 minutes to 11. I think we're going to release the commissioner very soon. If you don't have, this is the chance that you can use to talk to the commissioner or ask something to the commissioner. And then please note that the today broadcast will be uploaded on the website as a podcast. If you miss it, you can download it free of charge. We're going to give you the link as to how to download it or where to get it. And please do get in touch, keep in touch, talk to us on social media, Facebook and Twitter. And if you've got anything to ask, please do that. And before we release the commissioner, in closing,
yes,
what do you have to say to the people out there?
The one thing that I would like to say is that CIPC will always put our clients first in everything that we do. All 500 of us are dedicated to the task of making sure that your life is made easier. We are public servants, and the mandate that we have been given and entrusted with the people of South Africa is to deal with the laws for which we administer. So when we have outages, because I said we're very IT driven, all work stops in order for us to make sure that that gets attended to. When your queries are not being resolved in an adequate amount of time, teams will be dedicated to ensure that that gets done. We will always deal with continuous improvement, making your lives easier, because the reason why we exist is because of the clients out there. And therefore, when we have an opportunity to engage, not only as far as broadcast is concerned, but also when we deal with the issues of our webinars, when we deal with our education and awareness sessions, when we deal with interaction through our video portals or our websites, we very, very much welcome your opportunity to tell us how we are doing as an organization. As I said, we will never get everything right, but we will always strive to do the right thing. I think that's very important as far as that is concerned. We will always want to make your life easier. We always want to make your applications faster. We always want to be an organization that deals with integrity and honesty and quality in the service for which we do. We fail. Ruzani, we can't run away from that fact. We fail. As an organization, sometimes we get bogged down, we get stagnant, we get tired in trying to improve, but we pick ourselves up. We pick ourselves up and we move forward. We go through our next phases of innovation. Sometimes people like the innovation that we do. Sometimes people do not like the innovation that we do. But we try, we fail, but we continue to strive to get better. So we will always put that as part of our values. We will always make sure that when we come to work in the morning, we're dedicated to make CIPC a shining light in public service. And I think we're getting there. Our reputation is one that is certainly getting better. We come from the bad old days of CIPRO. If those can remember that, I should say that once you lodge an application for registration of a company, for example, you had absolutely no idea when this was coming out. Now we have service delivery standards which we uphold, which we watch, which we try to improve on year on year. We also want to have direct access to our clients. The use of intermediaries who charge tons and tons of money for services that are very little as far as the regulations are concerned is something that we take very, very seriously. That is the reason why we like to go directly to our clients to make the service that we provide easier for them to interact. When we deal with it through our IT portal, the one thing that I always say to my IT developers is that make the service easy for anybody to be able to utilize. That is most important. And as we continue to improve and we continue to use innovation, continue to use automation and digitization of our services, that is something that will be at the forefront. Make it easier for our clients to use our services.
That's Advocate Rory Voller, the Commissioner of Companies Intellectual Property Commission, making things easier for CIPC and the clients out there. We would like to thank you very much for coming to our show, and
Thank you
Always
very much.
welcome.
And thank you to our listeners. May all of you have a good day going forward.
Did you know that companies and intellectual properties commission offers domain name registrations on behalf of outside for all registered entities for over 51 months in the country? For more information, visit www.cipc.co.za. Your business, our focus.
You are listening to CIPC Broadcast. Your business, our focus. You are listening to CIPC Broadcast. Your business, our focus.
We almost come to an end of our program today. That was the Commissioner of CIPC, Advocate Rory Voller, with us. Please stay tuned as we're going to give you some more information on what we're going to talk about next week when we do the show again on Wednesday, same time, same place. Mauna?
Yes, and again, for this broadcast, you can find it on our website, www.cipc.co.za, and also you can get it on our YouTube and also on Twitter. And then you can also visit our CIPC self-service center or self-service terminals in Johannesburg, Pretoria, and Cape Town.
Keep on watching the space on www.cipc.co.za as we will be announcing who will be here next week, what topic are we going to talk about, and what are we going to discuss throughout the program.
And then for next week, we are going to talk cooperatives and then how you can register the cooperative and everything. So tune in and then stay put. On Wednesday next week, same time, same place, we're going to be hosting our CIPC representative who is qualified to talk more about this topic.
You don't want to miss next week's show as the new Cooperative Act has been implemented and it has come into effect on the 1st of April. Please stay tuned next week as we talk about the cooperatives, what to expect, how much is it going to be, how is it going to impact, or how is it going to affect your business, and things like that. We will be discussing those things with our cooperative experts in the next week's show.
Yes, and keep interacting with us on all our social media channel, our Facebook page, and also at the our Twitter handle, which is at CIPC. Ask us any question, send us inboxes. We will gladly respond to you, and then you will get anything that you will want. You can also call the call center, and then you will get the well-qualified call center agent who will assist you with your queries.
Our call center number is 0861 100 086 100 2472. 086 100 2472. That's our call center number.
Yes, thank you very much for today, and then you've been for being a good listeners and everything, and I hope you have learned so much. If you still have any questions about today's topic, kindly please tweet us, Facebook us, inbox. You can also write on our public wall. We will respond to you. If you have any queries about the CIPC channels or anything that you like to know how to register the companies, thank you very much. You can go to the website.
Thank you very much for tuning in. That's it for today. Till we meet next week. Cheers. I'm out of here.
Yes, bye-bye. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye. Enjoy your day.